Hello again, everybody. I am Chris Schulte, and welcome to another episode of the Tigers Baseball Podcast. This is podcast published on April 18th, 2022, and a lot to get through. The first road trip, well, 3/4 of the way done. It'll actually finish on July 11th. The Tigers are going home. Well, they probably left yesterday from Kansas City, and they'll finish that up in a split doubleheader. The first game will be at 1:10 local time on July 11th. The second one will be at 7:10 local time. So 2:10 and 8:10 on the East Coast. And we got some things to get to. It's going to be an interesting podcast, so let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, we had 3 injury situations occur over the weekend. The Tigers took 2 out of 3 in Kansas City, so they've earned themselves at least a series split. We'll find out more about that on the 11th of July, which is a Monday, so my guess is that first game is going to be the makeup game. As a matter of fact, it is, because I read the story today where it said that if you had tickets to yesterday's game, you would be able to go you'd be able to go see game 1 for free. There's no ticket exchange necessary. So now I wonder how that works if you decide to buy tickets for game 2 as well. Do you get to sit and watch them clean up do you get to sit and watch them clean up the stadium and do all the things, or is that something that is not allowed? But I digress. So that is a situation that has presented itself. The Tigers took 2 out of 3. They took the first 2, 4-2 and 2-1. Right now, they're 4-5 on the year, and it's an interesting 4-5 because they've been beaten pretty soundly once, and then the other 4 losses were very close. And what I mean by that is, okay, so they got absolutely shellacked 10-1 by the White Sox, but then they lose 5-3 to Boston in a game that they actually had a 3-0 lead. Of course, we covered the White Sox series, so they lost 5-2 and then 10-1. They lose 5-3 to Boston in a game that they actually had a 3-0 lead, and then they lose 9-7 to Boston in a game that they actually had a 2-0 lead and were down at one point 9-2. Spencer Torkelson hit his first big league home run in that game. That was a game that Eduardo Rodriguez got knocked around like a pinball. And I don't know if it was just nerves from him having to face his old team, or is he really that bad? He looked really well and looked really good in spring training. And in all honesty, he didn't look too bad in his first start. Yes, he walked a few batters, and it took him a lot to get through 4 innings, but he absolutely lost it in his second start. So now we've got to wonder just which Eduardo Rodriguez do we have? And what did Boston see that they only made him a qualifying offer? You know, here's a guy who was penciled in as their number 1 guy on opening day last year. He was slated to start the season as their opener, as their ace, and then didn't. Didn't pitch at all in 2020 because of complications of COVID. But yet he performed well in the postseason in 21 and in 19. So who knows? Who knows what we've got there? Then we go to Kansas City and win 4-2 and 2-1, and then we lose 3-1 on Saturday. Now, Saturday's start is interesting. So Thursday and Saturday, both starts. First of all, Tarek Skubal on Friday looked amazing. He got into 2 strike counts on the first 13 straight batters that he faced. And it really was something to see. Now, if Javi Baez had been playing that game, and we'll get into Javi Baez in a minute, but if he had been playing that game, I don't think Kansas City scores. Because there were 2 balls that Javi would have gotten to, Harold Castro just couldn't get there. As good as Harold Castro is as a utility player, he's just that. He's a utility player. He plays every position decently, but he doesn't play one position well. He's solid at every position, but he's not above average at any one position. So Saturday's start for Matt Manning, he comes out after 2 innings as a precaution because of right shoulder soreness. Now, he said he could pitch through it, but they took him out anyway. This comes on the heels of Casey Mize going on the 10-day injured list with a sprained right elbow that he said he felt on Friday morning. So he apparently did it Thursday, pitching in Kansas City. Now, Michael Pineda was supposed to start yesterday in Toledo, and he didn't. He was scratched from his start. He'll probably pitch on Thursday, which means he'll be well rested. He'll have not pitched since last Tuesday, that being the 12th of April. So he'll be definitely well rested for his start on Thursday. He went 4 innings on Sunday and gave up on Tuesday and gave up a couple runs. I don't necessarily know how to feel about that because it's AAA. They swing at everything. Really, all that they were trying to do is build up his arm. I don't think they were worried about his earned run average or anything like that. Michael Pineda is a big leaguer. He's been in the majors for quite some time, so he knows how to deal with the big lights and the big stage. It's different how we look at different players. So with Michael Pineda, when he didn't pitch, if he doesn't pitch well in AAA, it's just a matter of, we're just building up his innings. We know what we've got when he comes, because he's got a proven track record in the big leagues. We know what we're going to get when he comes up to pitch for us in Detroit. But if somebody like Matt Manning or Joey Wentz or Alex Faedo has a rough go of it in AAA, then it's like, what's going on here? What's wrong? What did we do? Did we draft a bad player? Is there some issue that we need to work out? So it's interesting because of the track record how that works. So as it looks right now, you're going to have a situation where Tyler Alexander goes tomorrow against the Yankees. Eduardo Rodriguez goes on Wednesday against the Yankees. Probably Michael Pineda on Thursday. And then Tarek Skubal on Friday. Now the question then becomes, will Matt Manning be healthy enough to go on Saturday, which means he would have skipped a start because he pitched on Saturday this last week. He would have gone on Thursday. Sorry, he would have gone on Friday. Let me see here. So, yeah, because Alexander was supposed to start yesterday. If everything had worked out, Alexander would have started yesterday. Skubal would have started, or not Skubal. Rodriguez would have started tomorrow. Mize would have pitched on Wednesday. Skubal on Thursday, Manning on Friday. So he'd miss a day. He'd be a day off schedule. So he may not necessarily have to go on the injured list and miss a start, depending on this right shoulder soreness. I haven't seen anything since earlier today, well, since Saturday afternoon about the precautionary measures. So I don't know where that's going, what that's all about as far as what they're going to do about that. He's going to be evaluated in Detroit. Probably has been already. They just haven't said anything to the media about it because today was a built-in off day. So the Tigers have 2 days off. I'm sure Tucker Barnhart's pretty happy about that because he caught Friday and then Saturday Dustin Garneau caught. So he's got 3 days in a row to kind of sit and relax and reset the body a little bit. So Mize goes on the 10-day injured list. Manning is removed for precautionary reasons. To take Mize's spot on the team, the Tigers called up Daz Cameron, who was on the taxi squad anyway because of an injury to Robbie Grossman. Grossman came back on Saturday and did okay. He was experiencing some groin tightness, so we'll see where that goes. You could also be looking at a situation where Drew Hutchison starts for Matt Manning on Saturday. Now, Drew Hutchison came in on Saturday and pitched, I want to say, 4 innings of shutout ball and did pretty well against that Royals lineup. Now, it's the Rockies that they'll be facing this weekend, so it's very possible that Hutchison comes in and pitches. They could have a bullpen day in the sense of Hutchison could be an opener, and then you can piece things together from there. And AJ Hinch probably has already looked into that possibility and looked at what his options are. He's probably been looking at those options since Saturday afternoon after the game was over. And I'm sure that Hutchison's performance on Saturday had a lot to do with what is going to happen later on this week. So, 10-day injured list for Mize. Cameron is called up to replace him on the team. Another roster move, Brian Garcia was designated for assignment. This was to make room for Willie Peralta, who is going to be doing a rehab. He's going to be building up his innings down in Toledo. Probably going to be up in the big league on the big league club a lot sooner than people expected. A lot sooner than he expected, that's for certain, because of the situation with the bullpen or with the starting pitching being what it is. And let's not forget, Willie Peralta can be sort of a Tyler Alexander type in the sense that he pitched pretty well last year as a starter. So if he needs to come in and make a couple of spot starts, the bullpen is flexible enough in that you've got Alexander already in the rotation, and you could bring Peralta in as, in all honesty, he could be the guy who does that spot start on Saturday. You could set him up to open, give him a couple of innings, bring in Hutchison, and then bring in whoever you need to, depending on what the situation is as far as the score is concerned. And the Tigers would be okay. I'm not saying they're going to be barn burners. They're not going to absolutely blow teams away with this setup. It really is a blow to the rotation to have Manning being watched so closely and to have Mize with a right elbow sprain. One of the things that concerns me about Casey Mize is that right elbow sprain being, could it possibly be worse? I always get concerned when they talk about elbow issues in pitchers, because my first thought is, oh God, possibly Tommy John. And if that's the case, then Casey Mize is going to have a long road to work with. And let's face it, the Tigers have a record. The Tigers have a history. Alex Faedo, Michael Fulmer, Joey Wentz, Jake Rogers, the catcher for the Tigers, going to have Tommy John. Spencer Turnbull. So just look. That's 4 pitchers since 2018 who have had, 2019, who have had Tommy John surgery. Michael Fulmer in 19, Joey Wentz in 20, Alex Faedo at the end of 20, Spencer Turnbull in 21. 4 pitchers in the last 3 years, now 4 years almost. So yeah, as a fan, I'm a little bit concerned. As somebody who pays attention to this team, I'm a little bit concerned. But let's see what happens. The team doctor evaluated, now it's the Kansas City team doctor, evaluated Casey Mize on Saturday or on Friday, and he's going to be looked at here in Detroit. He's probably been looked at again. Like I said, him and Matt Manning were probably hanging out in the waiting room for the team doctor and specialists and whatnot today. in Detroit, if not down at Dr. James Andrews' office in Alabama. So, something to be concerned about. Yes, the Tigers are downplaying it, as they always do, as all teams do. So we'll see where that goes. So, outside of that, not much to talk about this week. Torque did hit his first 2 Major League homers. The second one was an absolute bomb, and I'm a little bit... I feel kind of like I'm being spoon-fed certain things by Jason Beck, the MLB.com beat writer for the Tigers. When you tell me that the 432-foot home run that Spencer Torkelson hit would have been out in all 30 ballparks, that's kind of a duh. Let's be realistic here. Don't insult my intelligence. I know how far 432 feet is. I know how big most, if not all, Major League ballparks are. Detroit's the deepest at 420. So to sit there and go, well, our readers might not understand. Yeah. Okay. All you'd have to do is say that it would have also been out in Comerica Park, and everybody understands that it would have been out in all 30 ballparks, dude. The fact that it was Kauffman Stadium and the fact that he hit it over the visiting bullpen and over the wall behind the visiting bullpen is impressive. That's all you needed to tell people. You didn't need to go any further than that. So, there is that. As I said, the Tigers got the Yankees and the Rockies at home this week, and then they go on the road again next Monday, the 2nd of May. Sorry, the 25th of April. Sorry. I'm trying to get the month of April out of the way because the weather sucks, and hopefully turning the calendar page to May makes it a little nicer out. So yeah, the Yankees and the Rockies, and then the Tigers come home again to the Dodgers next week or after next week to end the. I think it's just a short road trip next week, another 3 or 4 game jaunt. And then they come home for the Dodgers on the 29th and 30th and 1st of May. I'm not quite sure about that, but we got a 6-game homestand. Miguel Cabrera has collected hits up to 2,995, so he's 5 hits away from 3,000. He's 1 double away from 600. There are 3 other people that have 500 homers, 600 doubles, and 3,000 hits. 3. That's just nuts. And no, Albert Pujols is not one of those 3. So he's in select company indeed, and he has earned every single bit of the accolades that he gets. So with that, I'm going to thank Anchor for distributing the podcast. Check us out on our YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. And we will catch up with you next week. I took yesterday off for 2 reasons. Number 1, it was Easter. Number 2, there was a day off today. So why not? If you want to get in touch with the show, you can at Podcast Tigers on Twitter, tigersbaseballpodcast@gmail.com. It's the world's longest email address, and I'm proud of it. We will catch up with you next week. Thanks for listening, everybody, and go Tigers.